bullshit podcast.
Later, articulators do behavior. Talk about the shit then research later.
Post-grad plus dumb ass equals podcast. Serious bullshit podcast.
Later, articulators do behavior. Talk about the shit then research later.
Post-grad plus dumb ass equals podcast. Serious bullshit podcast.
Later, articulators do behavior. Talk about the shit then research later.
Post-grad plus dumb ass equals podcast.
That's the remotely sexual Jetson car.
What's up? I actually just got teleported here. You know, there's a common misconception that it makes like a noise, but it doesn't because it's so futuristic. It's just silent. So
Like, yeah, why
that's why
would
you
it
didn't
go-
hear me. You didn't hear me show up today. So because I was just teleported.
Well, that's interesting. I'm
just
not going to ask
really
why or
futuristic.
how or who from. Was
Just,
it a
that's
wizard
how-
or was it just technology?
I mean, you
Is it
came here on a
magic or
Jetsons car. You
technology?
came here on a Jetsons car, and I came here. I got teleported here, so it's just
Yeah,
You know,
I feel like I'm not far enough into the future. I need to get in your level of future. I'm in a Jetson car. Fuck this Jetson car, dude. It just doesn't have wheels. It goes the same
Well,
speed.
I think last week I ice skated in, and then the week before that I Clydesdaled in. So
Yeah. Yeah, well, at least
Just
this
gotta-
one's way less gay than the other two. Hell
Dude,
yeah.
they've got this in triathlon. They have this whole group dedicated towards people over 200 pounds called Clydesdale. It's like it's your own division. So if you're
What?
like, it's called Clydesdale. So it's their own division in triathlon. Where
Oh.
if you're over 200 pounds, you get your own division.
But what Clydesdale implies that they're like the best of the best.
I think it implies they're really big.
So is it just? I mean, it's no fat people, right? It's all just like giant dudes, right, or something, or what?
I think it could be giant dudes, but that's not who I see racing in that category.
Yeah.
It's like people trying to get in shape, kind of.
Okay. So, what's the average body type? All right, we're talking about Sterling just ran a marathon last weekend.
Marathon, I did not
I
far
mean, not a
from.
marathon, triathlon, right?
Yeah,
Whatever it is, one of the lawns I would never do.
it was a 3-lawn. Yeah,
One of
3-lawn.
those Greek activities that still somehow, applies today. But
Was it? I don't think it was.
it wasn't. I don't know. Athlon just makes me think it's probably some Greek shit.
Yeah, I think it's historic. They just like did that.
No, I mean Greeks had bicycles. I'm almost positive of it. Anyways, it was a thing they did. Okay, dude, I'm super positive about that.
Dude, I've heard it both ways. So
So yeah, so you ran and did the triathlon, which is what the biking, the running, and the
run, bike,
swimming,
swim, or swim, bike,
ripping,
run.
and the tearing. Run, bike,
Oh,
swim.
don't forget about the transitions. That's an important part too.
What's that?
When you like switch, there's an area that they block off in transition. I lost a place overall in transition because I forgot. There's this thing called a race belt, and you just put like your number on it, and then you buckles together the belt. And I forgot it, so I had to get like safety pins in the transition area and like put them on, and like trying to use fine motor skills was really hard because the water had been so cold, and I wasn't able to do it. So I ended up taking, compared this year to last year, it took me an extra minute and 30 seconds. So I actually
wait, you
lost
didn't-
a place.
You didn't clip it? I don't understand. Like what?
I forgot
What'd you
the
go
belt.
wrong there?
I forgot the belt. I left it at home that you clip
Oh,
together.
okay.
There's like a little
Oh.
elastic belt, and you
Got
can
you,
clip
got
your
you.
thing to it. Didn't
Got
have
you.
it, so I had to use safety pins
Okay, I thought
and try to like
everybody
use
there
little
had 'em.
fine motor skills on those tiny pins while you're
Yeah.
in the middle of a race.
Yeah.
Anyways,
That's
wasted a minute 30 trying to put
Over
those
some
little
bullshit.
fuckers together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Some
but I mean,
bullshit.
it's my-
Sucks.
My own damn fault.
What's the average body type like?
I think they're all pretty fucking skinny. Because
Pretty
you're doing,
skinny?
yeah, really,
Okay,
like, really skinny.
got you.
Because you're doing so much work, it's hard to maintain. It's hard to eat.
It's hard to be a Clydesdale, right?
It's hard to be a Clydesdale if you're taking it serious.
That's why they're the best, dude. Because they're like, it's just so funny they call them a Clydesdale. Like, what's up with that?
Well, dude, they call it, that's the only the men's division. The women's
slinging Clydesdale, fucking.
That's not what they call the women. They call the women Athena, which is like goddess of wisdom. It doesn't even make sense.
And the guy's just a dope horse. That's what? How is she a goddess and I'm a horse? This is weird.
Exactly. What are the rest of us? Plebs. That's the plebs division. Yeah, I know. I laugh at it every time I read it.
It's so weird. It's so like pompous. It's so pompous. You use the word Clydesdale there. It's like, what are you? Like, these guys are fucking bred for this. They're the biggest triathlon athletes you can imagine. Just bred deep for this. It's so weird. What is going on here?
If I like put on a shit ton of muscle, I could get up there. I could be a Clydesdale.
If you put on a shitload of muscle, that would look crazy. It would look so.
If I just started being The Rock. If I just started to be The Rock.
Like, yeah, if you just got super jacked, 'cause your head would get all jacked too, it'd be funny. You just grew to doing that, and you were like, nah, bro. I'm just really identifying as a Nordic Viking now. I'm just going full Viking nowadays.
Dude, I was thinking about this, how it gets expensive if you want to eat good food and be this active, because good food's expensive, and then you got to eat a lot of it. So then it becomes a real problem. And I've just been thinking about how much food The Rock eats, and like, does he feel like an asshole for like eating so much more food than he really needs? Like, he doesn't need all that. I mean, I guess you could argue at his level, he does need all that muscle because that's his image. That's how he makes his money. But let's just, I don't know. For me, at least, when I'm eating all this food, like, I kind of feel like an asshole. Like, I'm eating more than I really need to eat. I don't need, you know what I mean?
I know
where I'm coming from.
I definitely see where you're coming from, but they also throw away so much food at the grocery store that it's like, man, just in the situation that we're in right now, and like in our reality, which is we live in America and this is how it is, fucking food's just getting wasted all the time. So you're actually doing, dude, like every time I eat some meat, I'm like, at least this thing didn't die for nothing now. Whatever it is, because there's all this fucking meat here, and it's like this meat might just get thrown away and rot away, and then this animal just got killed for nothing. So it's like, I don't even know, like, there's a moral gray area there for me when I eat meat, because I literally in my head I'll picture the animal dying, dude. I'll go through the whole process in my mind, dude, because it gets talked about so much now that you really think about it whenever you're going to buy some meat products, and I don't want like I usually don't want to eat the meat that has like the shittier life, because I feel like it does taste in different. Texture's different. It's just different than like a free range chicken type thing.
Yep.
Do you have you noticed that?
Definitely 2 Chainz different.
Definitely what?
2 Chainz.
What about 2 Chainz?
His hit song, I'm different.
Oh God, dude, what? Were you just not listening to anything I said?
I'm thinking of 2 Chainz over here right now.
Yeah, I don't know why you're on 2 Chainz, but all right.
I think because anytime anyone says different, that refrain, I'm different. I'm different. I'm different. I'm different.
Is that how
I'm
it goes?
different. Yeah, that's exactly how it goes if you don't say it with any passion or any sort of rhythm.
Oh, okay. Just like him and all. Cool. Anyway. But yeah, like I don't know, I'm pretty conscientious about eating the meat, and so if they're gonna about beating and eating the meat, eating the meat.
Do you eat after you eat?
Funny.
Just wondering.
You eat your meat. But yeah, like there's so much excess of it, unfortunately, that in the time being right now and the way the system is, the fact that I don't have a snap of my fingers to just make everything different, or a solution for that matter, that it's like you kind of just gotta be, I don't know. If The Rock's smashing half the fucking meat aisle and all this other stuff, it's like good for him, man. So it doesn't go bad, and these animals don't die for anything. And fucking,
well,
there's no shortage of the food where The Rock is what I'm saying. So if The Rock lived in fucking like Iraq or someplace or fucking Afghanistan, then yeah, The Rock would kind of be a dick, right? Or like if The Rock lived in India, then he's kind of a dick. If The Rock's in India, it's like, all right, bro, but The Rock's in America, and so it's a little different.
Yeah.
Here, they're just the food's going to waste.
Right, but like your argument about it going to waste only works for one visit, because if you just keep buying it, then your dollar says that there's still a demand for this, where if you quit buying it, they would
It would
quit
not matter.
putting it there.
No, it would not quit putting it there. That's the difference. Is if I decide to do anything, it really does not matter, dude. There's so many people that I would never be able to convince everybody to follow my cause and just not eat meat anymore. So there's always going to be this meat there, dude. I mean, it's like, yeah, my dollar might contribute to it, but it's like my eating fucking chicken 1-2 times a week or something like that is not gonna fucking. It's not gonna affect whether or not this chicken is on the shelf ever if I decide not to. That is just insane. That's like saying, I live in South Carolina and my vote is gonna change the election. It's just not. Like you don't have the power in that situation.
If you look at it individually, but if you consider but you have to consider everyone's thing. So like, sure, your one vote didn't do it, but the aggregate of the votes did it. So there are races that have come down to single votes.
Yeah, but never from South Carolina. It's always from a state with more. I mean, it's never the states without a bunch of what do you call it? You know what I'm talking about. The other votes, electoral votes.
Right, but you're only looking at the presidential level. I bet if you considered many of your local elections, your one vote has a much bigger.
Yeah, so you tell me, okay, that I'm a guy who eats meat once, twice a week, and
You only eat meat once or twice a week?
Listen. For the most part, yeah, I eat a lot of veggie burgers and beans and shit like that. Or I'll have maybe not counting like pepperoni on a pizza or just little stuff like that, I guess. But like as far as going out buying some meat, cooking it up, and having that be like a main part of the meal, yeah, like if I have like some chicken soup or something like that, it's different. You get what I'm saying though? Like having meat as a course, I don't really do that often. I mean, not that often. Like I said, a couple times a week. We try not to eat meat all the time. We don't even really want to. Just because I am at the point now where, like I said, I'm not the average guy going out and buying some meat on the shelf, or the average woman going out and buying some meat on the shelf is not thinking about everything else that's going along into this process. And I'm very aware of all of this, right? And it's like, well, if everybody was so aware of it and as conscientious as I was, yeah, we could all decide to make this decision. But me living in this town in Greenville, South Carolina, and like thinking that because I don't eat the meat on this shelf, that this meat is not going to be on this shelf, because literally everyone else around me is not of the ilk that I am or thinking the same way that I am. So they're not gonna change the way they're acting or they're behaving or whatever they're doing. So
the grocery store will though. The grocery store is looking at how many products they moved and how many they didn't.
Yeah,
and
but
by changing one does make a difference.
Yeah, but I'm saying the amount of meat that I buy at the grocery store is so negligible anyway that it would never hurt their budget. It's the people that go and buy meat because most people in America think meat every night for a course. I mean, you can ask Mike that. That's how he grew up. I mean, that's the average American. You're going to eat whatever you're eating tonight. Oh, tonight we're having pork chops. Tonight we're having steaks. Tonight we're having chicken. Tonight we're having this. It's never tonight we're having vegetarian this most of the time. Sometimes it is. But in most cases, when people eat, there's a meat as part of the course. And so if that's the average person is going there 7 times a week and getting meat, and I'm going there once or twice a week, it's like they don't really care whether or not they don't give a fuck whether or not I'm there anyway. So then they'll still kill the same amount of fucking animals, dude. Because they already overkill them anyways. So they're already killing way more than they need to because the amount of meat that goes to waste is crazy. I mean, you've seen the amount of meat on shelves. Like the way maybe an Earth Fair does it is better. Which I've tried to go there. I tried to go the other night though, and they didn't have any chicken breasts. That was the problem. So it's like you do what you can do, but I mean, me as a person, I'm saying for me, it might be different than somebody who maybe eats meat 7 times a week. Then yeah, if you got a whole bunch of those people that somehow all change their ways at the same time and go as a combined effort maybe, but just as me deciding, oh, I'm not going to eat meat, and then I'm just going to fucking not do anything about it either, then you're not helping anything. You're just letting meat go to waste is what you're doing, in my opinion.
I still disagree.
Does that make sense?
I still disagree. Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. I disagree. I don't have the best argument to counter it, but you're by you not purchasing meat, it still changes the demand curve, and by you not purchasing as much meat, it sounds like you already try to do more vegetarian things, so you've already reduced the amount of meat that you consume, and so that already does affect your local surroundings, and then just by you saying, not even trying to convert anyone, just by saying, I do it this way, there's going to be people that hear what you're saying and think, yeah, I could probably go 1 or 2 meals. Maybe I'll just try 1 meal, no meat. And then that slowly sort of changes it. Doesn't have to be a conscious effort.
Yeah, but I'm saying, I guess it's more of an argument against just not eating any meat, because we kind of just started talking about something else, and we've diverted into this, which is fine. But like, as opposed to saying like, oh, I'm a vegetarian, I'm never gonna eat meat again because participating in buying any meat is wrong. I just don't. I don't know, man. And like, don't you like I literally think about it, like, oh my god, dude, this if I was a dead animal, and I got here, it's like at least somebody's eating me. At least somebody's getting something from this. At least I'm not just getting tossed into a trash can at the end of the night. And it's
I
like
would hope whoever ate meat was poisoned by my meat. I'd hope my meat was poisonous.
Really? You have your meat was poisonous. I hope I got some fucking. I hope I got that dirty meat. I hope that meat's dirty on that ass. But no, so I always just look at it like, man, yeah, I'm gonna make you something dank, bro. Let's do this. Fucking, you're already dead, and there's nothing anybody can do about it, especially me. So.
You dead.
I don't know. It's a weird thing to fucking to understand the whole aspect of it, and it's like, you know, we can't all have a farm, and we can't all go out hunting, or else there wouldn't be enough shit to hunt. You know what I mean? So
yeah, but we start hunting each other, and then we finally solve the problem.
Now we're getting into my kind of shit right here, dog. I like this kind of stuff. I like it. I like cannibalism. I'm into that.
What if that was the rule? If you were out hunting, you could kill and eat another person who was also hunting. But that's the only time.
I mean, I don't think many people would do it, bro, to be honest with you. I don't think it's going to be popular. I think it would just lead to more people just shooting people just out of safety. Being like, I'm not risking getting eaten, so I guess I'm just going to kill on sight now. From now on, everybody's just killing on sight. Fuck it. I mean, that's definitely what that will boil down to, right? I thought he was going to eat me. I don't know what to tell you. Y'all made it. He's allowed to eat me, so now I'm not going to take a chance on that.
But if you shoot them, you have to eat them. That's the other law. Because if you don't, then it's murder. Then it's murder. You got to
use the dick.
You got to.
You got to use every part, even the dick.
I mean, but with that, you can make a necklace or something. You don't have to eat that. It just has to be reused.
A necklace, dude? Like a shrunken dick, but it's a fucking little tiny dick. It's all shrunken up. You know, I was a dick once.
So Erica, she works around the hospital, and she knows her friend's brother is going to be a doctor there, and they've been working in the body lab. What is that called? The morgue? I don't know. It's like the morgue, but for the cadaver lab. And it was their last day, so they're getting ready. Apparently, they had 40 bodies in there. They've been cutting them open and playing with these bodies for all semester, and that's over. So they're now going to burn them, and that was the next day. So he grabbed her and said, "Hey, come to the cadaver lab," because Erica said she wanted to go. And so she went in there, and she touched a couple. Like, she held a heart in her hand. She cut open a brain. And then there was this big black dude, and then of course she saw his cock, because the guy that was showing her around was just being a dick. He was like, "This guy has a huge dong," and just lifts up the curtain. She said like it wasn't even erect, but it was just hanging there, super big. So, you know.
What? What the fuck is going on right now, dude?
Well, you said a tiny dick.
Let me tell you about this. Let me tell you the story about the time my girlfriend saw a big dead dick.
That was this week, dude. It wasn't just like a random story. That's fresh on the memory.
It wasn't a fresh penis, that's for sure. It was some BBDC, dude.
Dead guy.
What the fuck? That's so weird. And the whole story, you're like, yeah, she cut open her brain, held her heart, whatever, and then there was this big cock. What's a dead dick look like, dude?
I don't know. I haven't seen one.
That's
no,
crazy.
Apparently not. She said it was just kind of hanging there, and it wasn't erect, but it was big.
No, so, the dick was still alive. The dick was like, I'm trying to live on.
Just like,
Get me off of that. What if your dick lived on just
it
a
had
little
like a
bit?
siren's call, like come
Yeah.
here.
Well, no, what if your dick like lived on for a little bit and then they just removed the dick and put it on somebody else? It could, it still worked.
Did we talk about last time how Dan Carlin I think it's Dan Carlin talking
Sounds
about
like you keep calling him Dane Carlin. That's hilarious.
yeah Dan Carlin, the chicken
it's
fucker.
Dan.
Dan Cook.
Dane Cook Carlin. Anyway, Dane Carlin, yeah.
Dang Carlin. The Dan Carlin feather. He
that Dane Carlin.
talking about. I think that he was the one talking about when you get hung, you like skeet your pants.
You mean sheet your pants?
No, skeet.
You don't skeet.
Yeah, you skeet
What,
your pants.
dude?
Yeah, dude.
Get the fuck out of here, man. Get out of here. I have never heard anything like that. Skeet.
I hadn't heard it. I heard it.
Type that into Google and check. I want to see you type that in your fucking search bar. In your history. Go ahead, man. Type that in. No big deal, right?
I mean, yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
See what I can find.
Because it sounded like you just splurted out like the biggest crock of serious bullshit this podcast has ever heard of. That day, dude. It sounded like you just made something up. And, I mean, we don't want to discredit ourselves. We want to at least be honest about bullshitting. You just seems like you're just kind of trying to just completely throw us into fairy tale land here, dude.
I don't. So.
What? Oh, look, he's really thinking hard. How do I type this in without incriminating myself?
Here we go. Some myths and facts surrounding execution by hanging. It's a PDF, so you know it's legit.
All right.
Painful people being hung. Do male prisoners have an erection and ejaculate during hanging? Yeah. There's 4 pictures here. It is often claimed that men have erections and ejaculate. Some refer to it as the angel lust. The answer appears to be yes to both, but very rarely. So, suck a dick. I think you have to now go suck a dick because I was right. Because you were calling me out hard, turned out to be legit.
Well, you kind of made it sound like a thing. That sounds
Well,
like
it is a thing. The answer
occurrences of guys. It's like he must have already been boned up, and then he was ready. Maybe he was jerking off. I mean, does it mention any of these guys having been jerking off while they were being hanged?
So it talks about hanging when the spinal cord is severed, the heart action ceases, only gravity, vessels, pools, abdominal causes male prisoners to have penile erections. So essentially, his heart stopped. All the blood fell down, and then he had an erection because of that. So there's an erection caused by constriction of the carotid arteries and jugular veins, preventing blood flow from the head. So it pressurized the corpora cavernosa and the penis, causing erection. Ejaculation may be caused by stimulation. There you go.
Stimulation. Wait, what?
Stimulation.
Where does that come from, though? Where's the stimulation part?
Sorry, I left that part. There was an stimulation.
That's still like poking his dick. Look, it's all hard. Like, oh shit, it's coming. It's crazy. That thing is coming.
Stimulation of the erect penis during the conscious and convulsive phases, combined with the pressure of the vagal nerve, which is responsible for sexual arousal, together with the reduced level of oxygen reaching the brain, as happens in autoerotic asphyxiation.
Hell yeah. I'm an autoeroto aficionado, bro.
Pleasures of hanging. Okay, yeah, that's I don't know. They got 3 different little scenarios they talk about, and they got pictures, dude. So.
Well, I think actually you're the autoeroto aficionado.
You're the autoeroto aficionado. I told you I heard that.
I got all the information you need.
They got all Dan Carlin talking about that directional asphyxiation.
Well, I mean,
Boom Howard. I'm working on it.
I haven't heard. I don't know who that is. I'm just kidding. It's just funny.
Fuck you.
It's just funny to do that for some reason. Dude, so you don't have Facebook, do you?
I have it. I don't use it, but I have it.
Yeah, I just deleted it off of funny. I got it for comedy and stuff, and apparently, I mean, dude, the suggested posts on there are just they're just crazy, man. They're like lies. They're literal links that go to fake websites and stuff, man. Because I go and I look in the comments and people are just like, this goes to something else. This goes to something else. This is this website. They put shit on there for like fucking like video games and shit, and like fake websites for video games that like steal your password. They have like all these different games on. Like it'll put up some ad for a video game that's like footage from one game, right? One dope ass actual real game, right? And then they'll just say it's this other game. And they'll like change a little thing on the fucking like the HUD of it, but you could tell it's a completely different game, and then they'll just say it's this other game and try to get you to download some bullshit fucking game or whatever it is. And it's like they just allow this shit to happen constantly because they're just always in my feed. I'm just looking like, what the fuck? And most of them are just like, you got to be a dumbass to even remotely think this is true or whatever it is. But it's like, I mean, how can you justify having all this bullshit on here, dude?
Is that what the one that's like the most addicting game? Is that what
every single one is the most addicting game, yeah.
And then you click on it and it happens what you just talked about. That's the scam.
No, the scam to get you to click. I don't know what it is. I would never click on it because I feel like it's definitely something bad, dude. Like whatever it's gonna do on that website, whatever you
What
can
if
find
you're at the library? What if you're at the library? What if you're at the library?
Oh, then I'd check it out. Sign me up for whatever. But I mean, Facebook blatantly said that like if you took those, you heard about this 2 days ago, right? Their little data leak shit.
Their data leak shit. Leaky butt.
They got a leaky butt, dude. Zuckerberg's got a leaky butt right now, man. Look it up.
Yes.
Bring up an article for me if you can while I talk about it for a second. But apparently, if you do like, there's these little quizzes on there that if you're just bored out of your goddamn mind, or I don't know who the fuck does these quizzes, but you like do a quiz about yourself, whatever, and it tells you something, and it's just like says that.
Oh, they save that shit?
They've been just delivering it out, selling that information. Pretty sure. And Zuckerberg, his response was, yeah, this is a huge breach of trust with our customers, and we really need to do better than that. It's like, what? Yeah. Can you just say that every time you do something bad? You can just say, well, yeah, well, we need to do better than that. It's like, okay, so what's next? What do you mean? How much information have you given away and other shit that we don't know about yet? Like, what the fuck, man? You see anything about it?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen, it's mostly been about Cambridge Analytica. Apparently, law enforcement officers raided Cambridge Analytica's headquarters in London 3 hours ago. This was reported. That's
3 hours ago?
Yeah.
Damn.
Was when it was reported.
It's about to go down.
But that was not there. I check the news all the time. That was not there earlier today.
It's about to go down. I don't know what that means necessarily. I just know that fucking there's just more shit going on for sure. Like there's no way. Like they just taking all this information. They just like farm you out to fucking advertisers and farm you out to fucking suggested post people, whatever it is, and just fucking like try to. It's just so blatantly in your face, like fucking with you constantly. They make it look like it's a regular post. They make it look like it's from a regular person. And you're like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like reading something, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck? Who the fuck is this person? I'm like, oh my god, this is some suggested post. Like, what the fuck? And then it's a suggested post. It's like if you click on this video, it goes to someplace else. It's just like, what the fuck? This is a thing that went to teaching how to do TED Talks. And so it's like, well, does TED have something to do with this too? Like, what the fuck, man? I don't know.
So did you remove your Facebook on the Twitter challenge?
No. I just fucking removed it from my phone. I'm only going to check it once a day, like email, just for comedy purposes, share posts for people and stuff. You know what I mean? Use it as a utility, but there's no way I'm going to allow it to be on my hip, ready to trigger me at any point.
Because
it's just bullshit.
I definitely don't have it on my phone. I haven't had the app on my phone because they wanted a bunch of shit. They were recording... I found out they were recording a bunch of my conversations back in 2013, and I took the app off my phone. 2013 was pretty much the year I quit using Facebook.
Yeah, that makes sense, dude. I don't blame
But
you.
Elon Musk deleted his SpaceX and Tesla's Facebook page on the Twitter challenge, delete Facebook. He said he didn't realize there was one and he thought it looked lame anyways.
That's hilarious. He's such a dick. He's such a dick. So doesn't he know Zuckerberg probably? Like, don't you guys probably hang out?
Probably.
What the fuck? What if Zuckerberg's just
Probably
an
knows
asshole?
him.
I don't know. I don't know what the fucking deal is with the guy, dude. But they also, man, they did a thing like they created a thing called a like, and then they sold it to you.
What do you mean?
Like they say, get page likes, like for Facebook. So always will be popping up. Always fucking pay to get some page likes. You can fucking pay to promote your page to other people and get those likes. And it's all about just literally you're paying money for them to put your shit out on other people's on the off chance that this person clicks like on your page, and then that's it. And somehow I'm supposed to monetize page likes.
Oh, so you're doing it. I see. So they're not selling you the actual likes. They're selling you advertising, basically.
Yeah, and then you get likes, but you always get the same amount of likes, and it cuts you off. I just don't understand it, dude. There's some bullshit about it, dude. They're fucking with me. I did it once to see what was up with it, and I feel like it was the worst thing ever, dude. I don't know, it was the worst fucking $20 I ever spent or whatever it was. Fucking, we got paid.
How many likes you get for $20, dude?
It was like 50 page likes or whatever, 40, I don't know, something like that. And I fucking like messaged all the people and was like, thanks for liking the page. I tried to connect with them and shit, and fucking almost nobody hit me back. And it was just like, oh, this is retarded, dude. This Facebook, nobody gives a fuck when you like something on Facebook. Like, it doesn't matter. And the fact that they just try to sell that to businesses and just naive people who don't understand how the internet works, and they think that somehow having 5,000 page likes over 2,000 page likes is going to make somebody give a fuck of a difference about you.
So, do you think that they were real people that liked it, or do you think that they were bots?
Dude, sometimes I don't know. That's one of the things. I was like, I don't know, because a lot of them, sometimes they hit me back. A lot of the times they would never hit me back, and nobody would ever say anything more than one line. So it wouldn't be easy for them to simulate a response. But all I know is that it's just there's something fucking fishy about that shit, dude. It's been a little feedback noise this whole time. Sorry, it was low, but I apologize. What was I saying? Oh yeah, just yeah. So I don't know, man. There's some bullshit in it, and it brings out the worst in people. You know what I mean? And it's there to trigger people. Like, it intentionally tries to put shit up there that it sees you, like, where you stop on your fucking scroll and look for a second, and then it just puts that shit back in on you. You know what I mean? Tries to find stuff like that. Like, the algorithms, whatever it is, it's too fucking smart, dude. It's just blatantly manipulating people.
Yeah, I had
Go ahead.
You familiar with the thirst trap? That Joe talked about it, and that's how I found out about it.
Thirst trap. Explain it.
I think he described it incorrectly. But anyways, it's basically I think it's mostly females that are looking for thirsty guys, and they just put up, semi-sexual photos, and then they get these people that follow them just looking for, they're just extra thirsty. I mean, you get it in context, right? I'm not very good at explaining it.
I thought that the girls were thirsty because they were looking for likes. Like, they're looking for approval. They're seeking it out, so they're thirsty for attention.
I understood it the other way, that they were creating thirst traps for thirsty dudes.
That makes sense too. I mean, thirst traps. That makes more sense.
Anyways, they tried to. You get those things happening on those platforms all the time, and I had one hit me up, a new one on you know what Strava. Yeah, someone hit me up on Strava. They're like, it was weird. They liked this ride I did, and then it disappeared, but it still came through my email that someone gave me kudos. I don't ever get kudos, so I checked it out, and it was like this chick in like a bikini with like one ride, and I was like, oh, it's a thirst trap.
It was a dick ride. That's what it was.
It's a dick ride. That was the one ride she had.
I got experience.
But yeah, actually knowing that label has helped me a lot. I'm like, oh, what they're trying to do is this, and then I can classify it very quickly instead of being like, why is this person hitting me up?
Yeah. Well, it also
they're looking for thirsty dudes.
Yeah. it also just like it always just points you in directions of stuff, man, and it tries to get people to fucking. I don't know, man. I just think it brings up the worst in people. You're just typing shit in on Facebook and you're voicing your opinion and stuff, and you're fucking doing this and that, and it's not doing anything. Nobody does anything. It's the outlet. It's like it's the thing that it's the what do you call it? The stress ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the reason why that meat's on the shelves. God damn it.
You know, the reason I kind of quit, like I told you, in 2013, and then when I came back to Facebook to kind of use it, I think I tried to use it because we went on that bike ride in Colorado in summer of 2013. Is that, or was it summer of 2014? Remember? Oh, he just left. He left the room on his Jetsons. He to see you.
I was thinking. That was my memory leaving the room. I have no idea. 14.
Anyways, I tried to use it like that's. I think my profile picture is still from that. So I started trying to use it around then. I think that was 2014. And then that's around the time that they quit making your feed chronological and they started ordering it by like what they thought you wanted to see. And that's when I was done. I just said, fuck that.
Yeah. Now they take it to the next level and literally 50, well, not 50, maybe 35% of the content isn't even real.
Fake news, dude? Is that what you're saying? Are you,
it's beyond fake news. It's beyond fake news. It's beyond fake news. It's just
okay,
blatantly, it's egregious.
No, dude, you gotta have if you're gonna go beyond fake news, there's gotta be a level. You gotta have a name for this.
If it's more fake than fake news, it's just,
extra fake news. No, gotta be catchy.
I don't fucking know, man. I'm not a good Trump advisor.
That's
Are you
not
a
true.
Trump advisor?
I could never be a Trump advisor. He doesn't.
We need a Trump advisor to tell us.
Doesn't listen.
Huh?
Doesn't listen.
Ooh,
There's no point. Yeah. You have to be like really sneaky with him. Like you gotta be like make him think it's his idea. I don't have time for that bullshit.
You just gotta like have Facebook program shit into his feed is all you need to do. You could fucking have him doing whatever you want.
You gotta inception Trump. That's the only way. The only way to convince him. He's got to think it was his idea.
I get
every time.
They got bots on there too. There's plenty of bots on SoundCloud. SoundCloud, I don't even think it's like I said, that's like half not real people.
Dude, I watched this this thing on Vice News last night about these guys. They did a thing. They did a song with Chance the Rapper. They then got $250,000 record deals, but they turned them all down. And then they told Vice News how they were going about their independent label. And so essentially the thing is like they had whatever song they were on won a Grammy, and then they turned down the big record deal. So they've got enough of a following that they can make money in these smaller clubs without. So the record companies, they're asking for like 18% of what they make, and the record companies are telling them that's really high, that's too high. So they said fuck that. And so they figured they could make more money by just playing more small clubs. And so what they do is they look on SoundCloud, so that they stream their stuff on SoundCloud, Apple Music, and Spotify. And they don't make very much money from that. But what it does tell them, they get free analytics from the songs that they play. And I know that you get those too. And they can see in what cities the most people are streaming their music. And then they also give metrics known as superfans. And that's how they use the number of superfans to determine how large of a venue they want to book and how many tickets to sell, essentially. And then, so what I was looking at when they were sort of popping up, they said in this city they had this many superfans and this many total fans. It sort of seemed like the amount of money that they made was proportional to the amount of superfans. And I don't know if I told you the metric. It was
what is superfan again?
It's if you've been streaming their music for 40 days in a row.
Okay. So it's just a thing, like that's just the concept they made up. Got you.
Yeah, I think it's SoundCloud that made it up, and so that's how. And essentially, the amount of money they'd make in each city was proportional to the amount of superfans they had. So if they had like 3,000 superfans, they'd make around $3,000. And I don't remember how many tickets they were selling in each city, but it varied. But it was pretty
Yeah.
cool because they broke down the books. They talked about how they were doing it, and then he said that he was also using that to then place targeted ads towards people in those demographics in those cities, like on Facebook and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So he was breaking down their whole business plan on how they were going against the record labels. It was a pretty cool. It was a pretty cool piece.
That's tight. I'm just thinking about that for a second. A super fan. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's sick. Just using those, like aggregating those 3 platforms and seeing where everybody's at, and then just, I mean, that's how most musicians have to do shit nowadays, anyways, because of the downloading of music and stuff like that, and everything going digital. That's like they have to mostly give their shit away, and then tour off of it, you know. Or like do YouTube videos and make money off of that, monetize that. But that's so hard now, man. Like make YouTube money. Like you just got to use it all. Everything's about promoting yourself and getting people to be interested in you, and then you bringing them a product somewhere, or something like Patreon, where you can just get supported by fans like that directly. Which I don't know how that works for a band. You know what I mean? I wonder if there's any bands that are just on Patreon getting paid a monthly to be a band and doing shows.
Probably. There's always people that, there's people that want to support you. Like you got Whoopties.
Yeah, well, I mean, like if I was a band, dude, I would make like a fucking separate EP just for those people. You know what I mean? Like I would make them songs like fucking personally for them. It could be really cool. People would leak them out and stuff, but you could make it to where you can only listen to it on the website even, or just whatever, just doing, talks with them and shit. Like, you could really connect with people and fucking, I could definitely see a band making some cash like that instead of trying to go get a record label and get pimped out, man. That shit's out of fucking, that's old school stuff, man. Record labels and, what do you call it, like, agents and shit like that. That's going to be out the door eventually.
Right.
Maybe not agents, but agents do a lot of bullshit. But
yeah,
once
but
you make all the connections online, I mean,
the whole point is that that's the bullshit that artist doesn't have to do then.
Exactly, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, they might still be around, but as far as like needing people to make the connections for you, like it's so easy to make connections online now and stuff that it's, it's definitely gonna go in the direction of those jobs are no longer gonna be needed. A record label where you could just put your own shit out.
No, dude, I was actually thinking more of a manager than the agent. That's what you're saying. Like the manager is actually booking the venue, dealing with those people so that you can just focus on.
Yeah. Yeah. Just dealing with all the extra, but I mean that's basically like an assistant. That's all that really sounds like to me, right? Doesn't that like manager sounds like just a good euphemism for assistant?
Yeah, they're like, yeah, I guess that's true. And like in the music thing, when you're paying the manager, they're really your assistant. I don't know how it works though, because like my manager, he does all the shit. Like he deals with me and the bureaucracy and gets all that shit out of my way so I can just do my work. That's his job, is to get shit out of my way so I can engineer stuff.
Yeah.
But he has decision power at the end of the day. So that's why he's the manager. But it's a little different for the artist.
Yeah, well, in some cases, unless you sign over to a record company, and then your manager probably makes all the decisions for you,
Right.
And you just kind of go where the wind blows with that, I guess. Ultimately, I think it's better for artists in general because it forces people to fucking work harder and to actually try to connect with fans and like put out a good fucking product. You can't just get a record deal and then put out 5 records and do one good job on one record and then phone in the other 4.
Yeah, you're in charge of your own destiny, right?
Yeah, make garbage that you still get paid $1 billion for making garbage. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of people out there that bitch about not being able to sell records and shit that don't make good music anymore that anybody cares about. So it's like, yeah, of course you're fucking complaining because you're not just getting paid for nothing. Like, people, if they like you, and also, man, fans still buy albums that like bands, and it's just bands are seeing now, like, how many fans they actually have. I think is more like how many real fans are actually out there. Because real fans, I mean, I still buy albums. You know what I mean? I bought In Flames albums, and they're fucking. I bought it just because I like it.
I bought 3 albums this month. I'm getting ready, dude. That new Nerd album, it's so fucking good. I've been listening to it. I'm a super fan on that, I think.
You're a super fan right now, dude. He's coming
I'm a
over
super
He's
fan
gonna
of-
be in Albuquerque next week, dude. Super fan there.
He's got one super fan.
And you're the Autoeroto aficionado, so you're also a celebrity fan. That goes double. He's got to make his way now.
What he's into. He's looking for that specific type of fan.
But yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Like, do you think it's ultimately for the better that, and also it's like more money gets spread around. I feel like in the field, if you know what I mean, if there's not just certain bands making fucking retarded amounts of money,
I think so. For sure.
there's got to be more money in the business going around, just in smaller amounts. And I don't know, man. Like, why should a fucking singer be the greatest paid person in society? You know what I mean? Why do you deserve more than $100,000 a year if you're a singer? You know what I mean?
Why
Like,
do
as
you
far as the record
deserve?
deal. I'm
I don't
saying
know,
like
'cause
if
people
that's
pay
what
it.
your fans, if that's what the people will pay, and people are downloading your shit and stuff like that, then that's just what you make. Like, you don't get to fucking negotiate some terms where you fucking make more when you're not worth more. Clearly, you know what I mean? Ooh, here's a good one, dude. Did you hear about the? This is kind of maybe a month old, but there was Monique, the female comic, black female comic, got a Netflix deal, and they offered her like offered her like fucking, I don't know, whatever, 15 million. They offered her a big amount of money, right? I don't fucking know how much. It wasn't anything like that, probably. But and she was saying that she made like a big deal about it, saying that she got paid way less than Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle and Amy Schumer, and it's because she's a black woman that she didn't get paid as much as these people.
Yeah,
And
probably. I mean, to compare yourself to Chris Rock, it's Dave Chappelle.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the obvious counter argument. Is like, well, like, what are you worth? Like, it's not like not because you're a black woman. It's because you don't sell as many tickets as either of those three people, obviously. But then she like made a big thing about it and was saying like, if you're not on my side, then you're not for black women and shit, dude. Like, she really went out of her way and tried to fucking do a last stand on that one, man. I don't know, shit's fucking crazy nowadays, dude. What are you looking at?
I'm looking at Monique. I was trying to see. I know what I've like seen this woman. I don't know where I've seen her before though.
I definitely seen her comic. She's not a bad comic, I don't think. I just yeah, man, people are getting crazy nowadays.
I don't know. You think it's coming back? You think it's coming back around? You think it's under control? I feel like it's. I don't know. Joe Rogan's convinced me it's under control.
I mean, what's under control?
I feel like there's a pushback.
Oh, the PC movement thing?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. You know, it's the pushback is by old people, and those older people are gonna die sooner than all the younger people who are the ones.
I don't know. I push back. All the people that are listening to Jordan Peterson selling out his arenas, they're pushing back.
No, I know that, but Jordan Peterson's also really old. Like, you wouldn't hear those ideas coming out of
But his ideas
a 25
are resonating. The people
No,
that
yeah,
are
I
buying
know
his
that.
tickets are 25-year-olds
I know
because
that.
his ideas are resonating.
Well, I mean, if that's the case, then you know, maybe he'll completely change everything. But I just don't see how.
I'm not saying that one guy, but there's a lot of pushback on many fronts.
I don't know. I just don't think that. It just depends on what you mean, I guess. I mean, like, what the fuck? What they're all talking about on these campuses? It's almost like it's like so inside baseball, because it's not. We're not seeing this shit, dude. You don't see this shit on normal college campuses, man. There's not any of this crazy shit going on, all this crazy identity politics and people fucking like acting out and fucking trying to block speech and using hate speech. That's only like it's a small amount of places that's actually happening. And it's like they're blowing this problem out to make it seem like it's such a fucking big ordeal, and like all of our, I mean, I don't know, man. I guess, you know, if you live in Canada, you wouldn't be saying any of the shit I'm saying right now because it's real. But
well, you know,
Canada's
the
obviously
protesters and
backfiring.
stuff are causing campuses. If one of the speeches, people that speak that they don't want to hear comes to town, It costs security detail around $500,000 to just do security, and then if there's damages, as there was at Berkeley, Florida, I know there was another school, you can have easily in the millions of dollars in damages just to have someone come speak. So it is a big deal.
Yeah. But I'm saying it's only in these certain places though that happens. Only in these like, it's just not an average thing. It's like he's going to these certain places because it's provoking these people. Like, I mean, it's the only place you can go to talk to those people. Otherwise, it's like, why are you beating up, beating a dead horse on people who already agree with you? But like, of course, it's always like some Berkeley type place where it's like some crazy super liberal school that like nobody can relate to. Like, I've just never, like when I went to college here at a regular college, and I went to a technical college, and the college that I went to here was like an actual one where people go and live there and shit like that, and fucking. It was just like, I could never see anything like that happening here. It just seems unreal. And it seems like they're making such a huge ordeal out of this. Like, oh, my God, it's going to threaten the way everybody talks. And it's like, is it, or is it just a really good news story that keeps going on, that we can keep talking about, even though it's only happening, like, in these isolated incidents in these tiny little areas?
They're big areas, but they are
huge. Well, I guess I'm talking about in the general grand scope of things. In America, there's small areas. If you look on the map of America, and you like highlighted the places where this is a huge issue. It's just for the average American. They're like, what the fuck is this Jordan Peterson even talking about? Like, who are these people? Who are these boogeymen that are like trying to stop him? And it's just like, I don't know how the fuck. I wish.
Well, in his case, it was the Canadian government.
I wish Jordan Peterson had a little Bill Burnham. He just went off on these fucking people, dude. Like that Philly rant. You ever see the Philly rant?
Well,
oh, dude, yeah, it's about 10 minutes long. You might want to just watch it in whole, but he literally just shits on people in Philadelphia that were booing a bunch of comics before him for literally like 10 minutes and just counts down the time that he has left, and he's just fucking like ripping these people, dude. Like he's wishing that their babies have AIDS and fucking that they go home and fucking get hit by a car. He's just saying all kinds of crazy shit. But yeah, like just shut these fucking dumbass kids down. Or like, why are you even going and fucking yelling at these kids at Berkeley? Like if they don't want you there, I don't know, dude. It's just fucking. Let me ask you, would you go to Berkeley if you were him and talk to those fucking people, those animals?
Animals. So often.
I mean, if you're like, you're about to go into this, or they're gonna act a fool. You're like, this is gonna happen here. Like, why even go?
Because it's important to show up, because it's called the heckler's veto. If you don't go, they've heckled you out. And it's exactly what Bill Burr is going against, right? Like, I'm going to do my full set.
Yeah,
You're
but
going to listen to me. You don't get to veto me.
Yeah, but you wouldn't go perform in a place where nobody likes you either. Like, he wouldn't book a show. The reason that ended up happening is because it happened to be the case that everybody was really drunk that day. It was an Opie and Anthony crowd. It went super late, and it formed into this thing where they were booing a bunch of people, and then he just defended everybody. But it's not like he would put himself in that position ever again or ask anybody else to be in that position. So it's just strange that, like, you would just go to that place and talk to these people that, like, it's just like, I know I'm about to go to this place, and people are going to act a fool, and I'm going to do it anyways. Even though they're not going to listen to me or care.
So, number one, these people are often, when you go to a campus, often you're invited by some group. So they are being invited in a different way than these performers. And the second thing is that they're not performers to perform for people. They have an idea. And
but they're performing that idea. Because you can write ideas in books. They are performers. They are speech performers. 100%, dude. Anybody who travels around and does talks is a performer, bro. If you go around and just do TED Talks, you're performing a speech. Because you can just put those ideas out in a million other ways.
But it's an academic type of performance. You can call it a performance, but it's not the same. It's very different.
Driving a race car is a performance. You know what I mean? You're performing an act.
Because the point is to make money there. The point of these, they're not making money. They're not professionally doing this. This isn't how they make their money.
How does he make money?
He makes money at his school position.
he doesn't make a fuckload of money right now on Patreon, bro. You can't use that argument. Don't bring money into the Jordan Peterson thing because he makes a lot of money off of going and doing these speeches and having the controversy and name around it. I mean, I'm not trying to negate everything the guy says, but I'm just saying there's no way that there's not a monetary incentive to what he's doing. I mean, he's getting a ton of fucking attention and a ton of backing and people that are willing to put money into his ideas. So like now he can just go write a book. He gets a book deal. Bam, that's money.
But I'm not talking only about him. I'm talking about more of where he came from and the academic profession in general.
Well, yeah, I'm saying the guys who are traveling doing these speeches at places. Who else is doing that kind of thing, anyways, right now?
So, academics go talk at colleges all the time, not for money, just to teach.
No, absolutely. I mean, the people that are getting, who else is having this thing where they're getting booed out of places or they're being limited, their speech is being limited, is what I'm saying. Like, how many of these people are going around that are also suffering from their speech being limited in places? Like, are there a lot of these people? Like, it seems like it's him, and it's like, what's his name? What's the crazy right guy, the gay guy?
There's two of them, Yiannopoulos, and then there's the other one,
Shapiro.
But those
all
guys,
these guys are, I mean,
those guys
they're all
are performers. Those guys aren't academics.
Yeah, but I'm saying they are all performing, whether they're academics or not. It's like just because somebody might have the right idea doesn't mean they're not still doing the same thing. Like they're all politicians. Just somebody might be a better or a more honest or a more, a certain type of politician. But they're all playing in politics, and so they're all in a way provocateurs. Because you don't create controversy by just expressing your ideas and not going to these places and creating these incidents that then gain you traction to then be able to put your ideas out. I mean, it's just a clever way to be able to put your ideas out into the world and get an audience to pay attention to it. If you just go out and create a big fucking scene, well, everybody's going to listen to what you have to say now because, oh my God, how did this happen to this person? Now we're all interested.
I think that, so I want to separate what the white nationalist guy and Yiannopoulos are doing from Jordan Peterson and then his other contemporary, the lady who gets called like a male patriarchy defender. I don't remember her name.
I think what I'm talking about though.
What they're doing is
don't
different.
I don't want to lump those two in the same class of person by any means.
Right, because they're doing different things because on the one hand the white nationalist people who are not academics, what they are doing is they are literally trying to rouse up people to get attention. Where it's more with the academics, they have well thought out thoughts that happen to make people mad when they say them. So they're
that makes sense, but to go and take that to Berkeley is just crazy to me. It just doesn't make sense.
But they've been invited, right? So
I guess, but it's like, dude, this is clearly a trap then, man. Like, have you not watched Game of Thrones? This is the Red Wedding, dude. Why else would you be invited to a place where fucking most people oppose you? Unless it's not the case in that Berkeley where most people do oppose him. Otherwise, who the fuck would bring that guy in there unless they wanted to start some shit? I think honestly, dude, he's unknowingly giving them more traction than they ever should have. He's giving their argument more of an audience than they ever would have. Like, he's giving them more of an opportunity to have more people on their side even, as well as on his side. But, like, instead of just letting it fizzle out, it's like a huge ordeal now, and him going there allows them to, it fuels their fire as well. Like, why? Because the fact, I didn't even take into account that, yeah, they have him come there, and they pay him to come there. It's not like he's, like, saying, hey, let me rent this place out, you know what I mean? Like at Berkeley. And so it's like they're obviously setting this trap for him, man. Like, is it better or worse to even go?
I wouldn't call it a trap.
The
people that are inviting them, because you're like assuming that everyone there doesn't want to hear them when there are actually a ton of people that want to hear them, and there's a significant number of people who are willing to get up and heckle. But that doesn't mean that no one there wants to hear them.
Well, like at Berkeley, it seemed like it was like it just seemed like a trap, didn't it? Like the one with the video and the girls laughing at him and they're telling him not to talk. You know what I'm talking about? The one that Rogan always plays.
Yeah,
Or it's
I
just
don't,
like
that,
this
not,
dude
not
getting
to
his
me.
balls taken from him on a fucking stage, getting shit on, right? And it's just like, God damn, it just seemed like, I mean, wouldn't it be very convenient if you just called this speaker to come talk and then you shut his ass down live with all your friends? You know what I mean? You prove your fucking point because fucking we're tired of this bullshit and we're going to fucking call him in here. And he's just some guy who's earnest and thinks he's doing the right thing and just trying to come in there and help out. And he's just like falling into their trap of creating a controversial situation that then gets their what would be a very small group of people's idea into the main vein of ideas.
I think you're right that they both go up together, but I don't think that it's that small. And part of what he's trying to do is defend free speech. It's a big part of it. So by not going, it's directly in contradiction to what he's trying to do.
You mean by not going and speaking?
Yes.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, but it's almost like they have designed it. It's an interesting way. It's an interesting psychological like trick that these whatever the leftists, whatever you want to call this fucking group of people that are like anti-speech, whatever, that these people play, where they create it to where it's like, oh, you can't speak, and then when you know it's the right thing to do to speak, and you're going to speak, they create it to where we're gonna make you speaking work against you. So they just created like this catch-22 where it's like speaking out helps them and not speaking helps them. It's like you either prove their point or you try to go against them and then they mob you. You know what I mean?
But I think that's why people tend to admire Jordan, because he is really good at breaking down what they're trying to do, not falling a victim to their trap, and pointing out their errors to them.
Yes, pointing out the errors to people that don't give a fuck. I'm not
But
trying to say
there's
that he's
people
wrong.
like me
Please,
who
just
see
understand what I'm getting at from a root here. Yeah, and people like you don't need their minds changed. Is my point. I mean, people like you, yeah, you get it. I mean, you already got it beforehand. You didn't even need to hear what Jordan Peterson had to say to understand that you already agree with that for the most part. But when you go to these places and you fight with these people, basically, you're just giving them a bone to chew on, a bone to gnaw on when they just need to starve out. Like, you know what I mean? It's like going and arguing against a bunch of Nazi protesters. It's like, why don't we go do that? Because we don't even want to give them a platform to speak. Fuck these people. Let them fizzle out because nobody wants to be around a bunch of Nazis. So nobody wants to be around a bunch of people that want to tell you not what to fucking say and that you can't think this and you can't do that. Nobody wants to be around those people. So when you go and you give them a giant platform to speak on, well, now their ideas are out there in the mainframe, and people that never even would have thought like that are now like, oh, well, yeah, you know what? I need an identity to latch to. I'm a disenfranchised person. So yeah, fuck people in their hate speech and fuck him for doing that. And then they get on board. And so it's like, whereas the average
Those people
person
would have got onto something anyways.
maybe, but the average person is not going to fall prey to that. The average person already, it's just like what he is speaking, dude, it's crazy because it's like Jordan Peterson's argument is just logic. He's just trying to speak reason, right? I mean, it's just reason. He's just trying to reason with people that are unreasonable. And so that's why he's not wrong. But I think sometimes that his effort is futile in that it's just like you need to let this just fizzle out in the same analogous way that I would talk about. Like, it's just like not giving the guy in the Ku Klux Klan fucking hat. Let's not even debate because, like, dude, I'm not going to convince you to not be a fucking ignorant asshole. And I definitely don't want you to even have a chance to convince anybody else to do that. So I'm just going to go do your thing. Like, fucking leave us alone.
I don't know. You seem to believe that all these people are beyond reaching, and I disagree.
I think a lot of them are at least at the point of being at Berkeley and being that age and a teenager, man. And it's just like, yeah, dude, it's just not like you're letting them mob up. It's just not it's not a good way to convince people. I don't think.
Well, but it's not only there. So like Jordan went on that BBC show, it was like Channel 4 News and he was dealing with a very well-educated, well-informed lady who had an incorrect, in my point of view, idea, one, about what Jordan was trying to say, and two, about the way she was interpreting things about gender pay gap and that sort of thing. And so Jordan cleared up a lot of these things for her, or at least counter-argued them, and it was very useful because these are a lot of the things that I hear, and this was the thing that I was arguing about in my ethics class last semester. And some of the reason that I could so strongly form my opinions last semester was by watching these things and seeing, oh, these are the things that they're going to say, and this is what I need to know about that, and this is how I counter it. So I've watched him and learned from him, and then I think I made a very good case in my class last semester, and I would say that people heard me. I don't know if I can't say whether anyone changed anything.
I feel like what is it that heat sits on top of cold air, right?
I don't know what that means.
Like hot air sits on top of cold air. Heat doesn't rise, hot air sits on top of cold air. That's the way air works, right? That's what the saying originally comes from, even though it's kind of wrong. But
heat rises.
Yeah, heat doesn't rise though. It just sits on top of cold air. It's a difference.
What? No,
it doesn't
just
rises. Naturally rise. It doesn't just rise out of the house. It doesn't just go away. It just sits on top of cold air wherever it is. It's not just gonna. It'll go wherever, basically.
No, if you have a stovetop, it's not going to sit on cold air. It's going to go up.
Because the air below it's colder. That's the only reason it's going up. If the air below it was the same temperature, it wouldn't rise up.
But is there how much air is in? Let's say you have a glass stovetop.
Let's say I have a glass stovetop.
Yeah, like one of the glass ones. There's no air below it. You just have a heating element, and then you're heating up air. What's happening is air is...
Oh, dude, sorry, bro. I know what you're talking about now. Like a flat top.
Yeah.
I was picturing just a glass see-through stove top, dude. I was just fucking like, what is going on? Okay. So you just mean like, well, I mean, still, once it gets around, the air surrounding it's still cooler, right? Than the air directly into the thing.
The heat is being transferred through the air. I don't know. It doesn't make sense that...
Well, it's like
the way you're saying it
and get an official.
I mean, heat transfers
heat
through
air,
convection.
the molecules jiggle and zip around faster, which causes them to spread out. When a mass of air takes up more space, it has a lower density. Warm air rises when it's surrounded by cold air because of its lower density. Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
No, that's what I said. You said it sits on top of cold air.
Yeah, well, I'm saying it's less dense, so it sits on top of the cold air. I mean, if there's hot air and cold air in a room, the hot air is going to sit on top of cold air, right? So I'm just, all right, we'll use oil and water or something like that then, okay? So oil will sit on top of water. I'm just trying to make an analogy here, not trying to talk about that necessarily. So something's sitting on top of something here, okay? You got something on top of something else. Dookie going to sit on top of that PP, all right? Now, this is how it's going to work, all right? So Jordan Peterson and all the arguments that people have and your ability to articulate your argument in such a way that is that you're able to have, use rhetoric to prove what you're trying to express to somebody else who happens to understand that is oil, is Dookie, okay? And PP and water is where everybody else, that all the people that have dumb ideas exist in the water, and they don't even fucking get what the fuck he's saying. So it's like you're like this higher up arguments where it's like people are arguing these ideas and shit like that. It's like, yeah, man, that's not the average dummy that's going to stick on to some stupid idea like fucking we should limit everybody's speech. Those people are not even able to articulate themselves. That's why they shut the speech down. So it's like your ability to it's like getting really good at sword fighting and all they're using is arrows. Well, yeah, man, you're the greatest sword fighter of all, but you're about to just Jon Snow up to the fucking line while people just fucking mow you down with arrows because they've designed their way of combating is it throws articulation out the door. That's the whole point of it. It's like, man, how smart and how well spoken you are and your ability it's the right thing to do and it makes the most sense. It has no effect on these people. They're impervious to it because they don't fight like that. They fight dirty. They fight using manipulation tactics and shit. And he's just trying to I just feel like he's this Ned Stark dude trying to do this right thing. And I just feel like, man, it's just I don't know if it's futile or what, which it doesn't matter if it's futile. He's just doing what he's doing, and there's nothing wrong with it. But I just don't know. I don't know that giving them a platform is a good idea sometimes.
No, but you're seeing them. I still have a difference of opinion in that you see them as this homogenous body that are beyond reaching again, and that's where I think the fundamental disagreement is.
Well, then that's like saying the KKK is the same thing, right?
The KKK is a much more extreme example than what we're talking about.
I guess, dude, but if you look at these people and what they're talking about and their ideas are so fucking crazy sometimes, dude, it's like, is it that much crazier or is it just the exact same human mechanisms put in a different place with different ideas, but it's the exact same human reaction to those ideas, just, pushed in a different direction?
So I would be willing to say that it is equivalent to the KKK in the 30s and 40s when it was at its height. Many of those people were able to be reached and were reached, which is why the KKK has dwindled to what it is today. It's a very fringe group. But that's
or
not
is
what
it just
Jordan
because
Peterson is dealing with today.
Well, society's created a. Sorry, I'm just going off right in the middle of that point there. Society is provided. Society wouldn't allow for the KKK to be what it was before. So this might be the same amount of people that are in the KKK, dude. But you just know nobody's gonna come out and say that they're in the KKK anymore. So it's like to go get that statistic, it's probably not going to be the same. I don't know. I feel like there's an amount of cult-like activity that humans are drawn to cult-like shit, dude. And if it's just the right type of cult, like a KKK type situation or a fucking Berkeley type situation, which is clearly, it's like you send your kid off to go to Coltville. They're going off to be initiated into whatever this weird fucking new thought police fucking in mentality is. But like people are so inclined to go into some cult-like thing that yeah, I think it's very similar to the KKK. And then I think also, yeah, maybe at one point if it's taboo to be a social or a social justice warrior, or if it's taboo to be a thought police, then yeah, that might also, you might get some skewed statistics on how many of them there are. But if you just went around asking everybody who's racist, you're not going to get accurate answers on that. You're just not.
But we know that the attitudes towards racism have changed.
Sure. But that's why I'm saying, like, I guess in the zeitgeist maybe it has, but I don't know. Maybe it is a bad example. I kind of lost track of my thought there. I'm just honestly trying to make some good podcast material here. I'm just trying to get. I was like, I really didn't have anything else to talk about. How can we draw this out for 30 minutes on fucking Jordan Peterson here?
Dude, I want to talk about that.
I think I really
cool
squeezed
fish.
that orange. I think I really squeezed that orange, dude.
Sent you a fish I wanted to talk about. Thought it was pretty cool.
Do you like that
Don't
devil's
want-
advocate right there, Sterling?
Doesn't want to talk about the fish.
Huh? Oh, I love to talk about fish, but
No, you don't. You're like, trying to move on past the fish.
no, I'm down to talk about fish. I was just laughing. I literally was playing devil's advocate for most of that. I mostly love Jordan Peterson, dude. I really just think sometimes that, man, just why even let these fucking people have a video to talk about? Like, I just fucking, I don't know. It's just frustrating, all of it. I wish he didn't have to do what he was doing, you know?
Talking shit on all the dummies out there. Can you explain for all the dummies what the video I sent you today was about?
All right, so I mean, you just basically sent me a video of what was the first footage of an anglerfish that's ever really been caught like alive, because they just catch them dead. They come up to the surface, they net them, and they have them in like museums, like dried out and shit like that. And an anglerfish is like this big, crazy looking fish. It's got a big, giant mouth with giant teeth, and it has like a little bioluminescent little ball, like fucking little tentacle, not tentacle, but like a little thing that hangs off in front of its face that it actually lures because it lights up. Yeah, it lures shit in the pitch black ocean down there that comes in, and then it eats it because it has there's such little food down in the bottom of the ocean that it actually has to like just fucking kind of float through almost. It barely moves, and then it just waits for something to come by and eats it really quick, and then that's how it like uses as little amount of calories as possible. And you sent me some mating, and there's like a little tiny baby male that sticks onto the fucking female on the bottom, and he just kind of like rides out with them, and then they're just fucking floating through, and like they have like these little tendrils, like little whisker type things, little tentacle like things that come off, and they're also bioluminescent, and they're just fucking like they look like fiber optic little filaments that come off.
The first time they think that's been recorded, no one knew that before. They knew the lure was bioluminescent, but they didn't know this whole tentacle surrounding the fish like a cage.
Yeah, it looks like a fucking crazy like jellyfish like shit coming out, but all around it. It's one of the fucking craziest things I've ever seen, man. I was just like, could you imagine pumping into some shit like that, dude? Oh my god,
So fucking scary. I love seeing them like in the Natural History Museum in DC. They've got a couple of these things like in water, and you see them, and they drag out all these tentacles behind them. But I never imagined it in the water with it all around it. And they show you pictures in this video. It's called First Footage of Deep Sea Anglerfish Pair. So because it's got a male that's they say like it's actually physically attached. They cannot be detached while they're mating, and so the male is getting nutrients from the female. And it's like a little baby thing on the side of it, and then it gets the woman gets sperm.
He's just got that cum. He's like, literally,
all
I got
he's
that
got.
cum. He's like, I got the only thing you need in this whole world that you don't got. I'm this little motherfucker right here. Got it. I'm the cum fish. He's just a cum fish, really, if you think about it. I mean, he has no other purpose. He doesn't even do anything. He just latches on and he just becomes a part of it. And now you're just a cum sack.
Yeah, I don't get, like, does this thing detach? And if so, what does it go do then?
It rents an apartment and fucking gets a drinking problem. Goes out
Sends
to
out
all the time.
money.
Goes out and joins a darts team at a local sports bar.
But it like
Retires.
the fish
playing
sort of like
golf.
floats around and it doesn't even like there's no up or down. It's kind of weird. It kind of like sometimes it's kind of like something just drifting in the water, sort of just however it drifts, it
It's
drifts.
just in space, just floating through space, basically.
Yeah, it's just
like
in
you just let a guy
space,
out
exactly.
in space and we're like deuces and he's just kind of floating around like, oh fuck. We'll see what happens, I guess. I can just go infinitely. They said it's like 7 miles to the bottom of the ocean or something. 6 miles already that they've gone down and been able to check, and it's probably deeper.
So it's I don't know.
That's
It's a
insanely
super
far.
cool video.
How far is it to the space? How far is it to space, bro?
Okay.
How many miles is it to space? Do you know?
I don't.
Space. You look it up. I can too if you don't. Yeah, I know. I think I heard it.
Miles
on a
to
podcast the other
space.
day. It's like
62 miles.
62 miles.
100 kilometers.
Okay, that's way farther than I thought it was. That's a long way. Holy shit! How far up do planes fly? I wonder.
32,000 feet.
That's less than a mile up, right? Okay, that's fucking way farther than maybe to actual space, but like, I mean, it's like you can go farther up than you can go down fucking safely, dude. That's fucking crazy. So we can go all the way out to space, but you can't go down like fucking 6,000. You can't go down 6 miles, but you can go fucking thousands of miles up. Down's just way crazier, bro. It's way more crazy down there. It's probably just nothing, dude. To be honest,
Yeah, they said
right?
that they did this at 800 meters, which isn't. I don't know. I guess it's pretty far, but it's not that far, right? It's not even a mile.
Yeah, and it seemed like it was pretty much nothing going on there. It was just the last guy floating around, and they're like, "Fucking goddamn, this is the worst existence ever." I don't even know why we're reproducing. What the fuck? What are we even doing down here, bro? We're just floating around.
Like you rolled up on a really weird old party.
It's a weird
what?
existence.
Everyone else left. What are you doing here?
You're just here
They
floating
probably
around.
left because he was there. That's why
Yeah,
they
dude,
left.
he was the last one. They were like, "Well, we figured out the best way to do this. Cool, all right." Nature's just the ultimate scientist, figuring out the best way to do shit. That's really all it is. So I'll keep making this up. This works the best, so this is what it is now. Until everything else dies, and it's like, all right, cool, that was fun. And wait till go make something else now. Let's see what's happening on the surface. A lot of shit popping up there right now. Get back down here later. I bet the ocean was dope as fuck back in the day, dude. Before shit was on land, the ocean was popping. Anglerfish had tons to do.
Old dark
Tons of
place.
homies. The male anglerfish, when he got out, he had tons of activities, okay? When he fucking detached. And now he's just fucking he just fucking stay. He's probably like, I'll just stay attached. I'm good.
I'll just stay.
You mind if I just stay? I don't want so much. I'm just gonna float along here with you. It's quite
Probably
relaxing.
just
actually.
eat him. I got the sperm, bitch.
Yeah, that's probably what happens. They just
You know what I want to see? I want to see the babies like come out of her mouth or something. Like, where do the babies come out of?
why would they come out of the mouth? Just I just don't think that's anything.
Dude, because this, I don't know, this thing is so freaky. It's a parasite. It's not even, it's like not barely a fish.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it looks like a fucking fish, dude.
It
Very
looks
fish-like.
like a fish.
It's very fish-like, I must say.
It's also called an anglerfish, so.
So it has been personified. It has been anthropomorphized. I kind of just think it's cute. He just looks like he's fishing. He's just fishing. Leave him alone.
Nah, dude, that thing is so ugly.
Yeah, they're pretty gnarly, man. I can only imagine there's just other gnarly, ugly shit down there. But like I said, once you get far enough down, it's probably just nothing, right? It's probably just fucking particles and shit, like the building blocks down there. None of the
No, what the Natural History Museum said. It said there's shit down there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Even bigger shit? Where's the
Like,
big
big, yeah,
shit?
like big, long, weird snake shit. I don't know. I don't actually remember. I just remember that there was they had the depths, they had the things that they knew at that level. I think they were little.
Really?
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't even know how to look it up anymore. Actually, I could look it up, but I don't know the right keywords, so it'll take like 2 or 3 tries. Not worth it right now.
Goddamn.
Because I got a head skis.
Dude, whatever happened to that fucking thing that washed up in Georgia? Was that fake?
What thing that washed up in Georgia?
It was like it looked like a fucking plesiosaurus or something.
I think you made it up on the spot.
Me?
Yeah.
No, I definitely didn't make it up. But...
For a limited time,
oh, God damn it. No.
Dude, what's the limited time? Dude, I got it.
Nothing, dude. Nothing. Don't worry about it. We don't do ads here. There's no ads.
Plesiosaurus, dude? Washed up in Georgia? No.
Georgia, bro.
Plesiosaurus.
Yeah, washed up in Georgia, dude.
Is that like Jurassic Park? Like, is that thing even real?
It's the only thing that came up. It's the only one article from it. Rogan had it on his podcast the other day. Jamie brought it up. That's hilarious. They just put out all kinds of fake news, dude. Joe Rogan's fake news. Just so you know.
Number one
fake
source
news,
of fake news.
Number one fake news guy of the year. All right, guys. Well, we just gave you an ad. Don't go to it. Don't do the ads. Don't do the Disney ad from last week. Don't ever participate in anything that has to do with that corporation either. We don't support them, and we don't like them, and we don't want to be supported by them. We don't want your Disney money. We actually turned down Disney money.
Oh, this thing. I remember what you're talking about now. Yeah, this is bullshit.
No,
they
dude,
figured out it was something really common.
No, this is 5 days ago. They're trying to figure out what it is, they said.
5 days? No.
Yeah, dude, it's on Newsweek. What?
This already happened. Nah.
Dude, just type in Georgia plesiosaur.
Yeah, I'm on the tube right now. I do see that it was published on March 23rd, 2018. But I think I've already had a deja vu about this, and they're gonna find out it's something really common. So
you remember the mermaid?
We'll see how this plays out.
You remember the mermaid? Remember that a mermaid washed up on shore?
I remember the mermaid. Oh no, I think what I'm thinking about was in Texas.
Well, I'm talking about they thought it was a mermaid that washed up on shore, and they were like, "Oh, it's some stupid decomposed fish."
Our one listener just found out there's beaches in Texas, and I'm just kidding. He already knew that.
I didn't know that. So I'm the listener. It's actually just me. I hate to break it to you, dude. That one listener is
It's me.
It's me. But I love it. 5 stars in my opinion. I give this podcast 5 stars. All right, well that's it. This podcast is 5 stars.
This podcast is 5 stars.
And we're out of here. We're out of here. Deuces, serious bullshit. Say bye. Say bye, Sterling.
Oh no! Well, I just teleported back, but I already teleported out. But bye.
Okay, that was his voice teleporting in. Only the voice. It's way easier to teleport a voice than it is to teleport a whole body. So we just teleport his voice in to say bye, and now the rest of them just teleported out. And we'll see you next week. Goodbye. Oh wait, it's trying to hit on you.